This keeps getting better for the New York Jets, as after day one of the NFL draft saw them take Armand Membo. Now they have been linked to multiple different positions that absolutely help this team and fill perfect team needs going forwards with day two of the NFL draft. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Jets Digest. It's Chris and Matt here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. A lot to discuss, Matt. But first, guys, make sure to subscribe to Jets Digest if you're part of that 67% that's not subscribed yet. It's NFL draft season. It is absolutely imperative to watch all these Jets Digest videos so you know way more about the Jets than all your friends. So make sure to do that, but let's jump into the video. And look, Matt, there's been a lot going on with the New York Jets recently. Where things stand right now, they've been linked to multiple different prospects for this day two of the NFL draft, where we'll see them make a few selections. And right now, they've been linked to a few different guys on the offensive end. The Jets obviously went offense when they took Armand Membo last night, and now with it continuing, we've seen a few different guys be linked to the Jets. The first one that was named was Jaden Higgins. The Jets desperately need to go out and add a wide receiver, and there are quite a few quality options left on the board, as Sports Illustrated mentions. Potentially the best pass catcher available is Iowa State's dominant wide receiver, Jaden Higgins. Higgins is a 6'4" wide receiver with good hands and a solid route running. He recorded 87 catches for 1,183 yards and 9 touchdowns in college last season at Iowa State. Matt, Higgins only played 2 years of college football with Iowa State. Now, in that time, he had a over 1,000 yard season and a nearly 1,000 yard season when he ended up with 983 yards. But both seasons showed success and now is looked at as a potential guy the Jets could draft. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that was a good save there. I thought you were going to forget about his first 2 seasons playing for the Eastern Kentucky. I actually don't even know how to pronounce that word. Colonels?
Colonels?
Colonels, I
Colonel.
guess. Is that what that
That's
word
how
is?
Colonel is spelled,
So,
yeah.
jeez.
I know.
Well, Jaden Higgins, 6'5" wide receiver, physical wide receiver out of Ohio State. Still put up a ton of yards despite playing with another wide receiver in Jalen Noel, who's expected to go in the second round of the NFL draft tonight, starting at 7 o'clock. So this is a player who, even with playing with another guy, still highly productive. His film is a little bit reminiscent of Drake London from a couple of years ago, although, of course, not as good as Drake London. If he was, he would have been taken in the first round. But this is important for the New York Jets because they're looking for a physical wide receiver. They're looking for a tall jump ball threat, which is what Garrett Wilson isn't. He is very athletic and very good, but he's not tall, and he doesn't have an extremely large catch radius the way that Jaden Higgins has. Think if you wanted Tetaroa McMillan in the first round, this guy is a little bit like a Tetaroa McMillan light, a little bit cheaper coming out of the second round. So if we do draft him tonight, we'd get him under contract for only 4 years instead of those 5 years. But I do think going with that right tackle was the right way to start the New York Jets' new era. Aaron Glenn saw how important it was to have an amazing offensive line in Detroit. Now he is moving forwards with that same philosophy with the New York Jets, pass protecting and run blocking with just as effectively as you possibly can. So I do think Armand Membo was the perfect way to start this draft. Now, whether they go wide receiver or tight end in this second round, we know that they are looking for pass catchers. We know Justin Fields for this year, maybe Justin Fields for the future, or whoever it is in the future is going to need more people to throw the ball to than just Garrett Wilson. Malachi Corley, while we liked him as a prospect, we are expecting nothing out of him, and if he gives us anything, we will be happily surprised by what we can get out of Malachi Corley. We think Tanner Engstrand is someone who can scheme up ways to get guys involved and get guys to football, which Malachi Corley, he needs to be schemed up. He's not a great route runner. He absolutely thrives with the football in his hands. So we got to put the football in his hands. So we're going to need one more wide receiver, tight end, another pass catcher to complement everything that we got going on right now. I'm very happy that they didn't take the guy in the first round because I don't think the value was there. But starting with this second round and going into the third round, fourth round, fifth round, there's a deep group of talented pass catchers this year, and I'm really excited to see which ones the New York Jets decide to go with.
Facts. I 100% agree. And speaking just of all these pass catchers, we have more to talk about. As a man who's been linked to the Jets time and time again, someone that we have both talked about, is none other than Elijah Arroyo. I mean, we've talked a lot about this guy in Elijah Arroyo, and as it was mentioned by Sports Illustrated, the Jets were eyeing Tyler Warren in round 1, but passed on him to select Armand Membou, which we both think is the right choice. This lines New York up to land a tight end in round 2, with Miami's Elijah Arroyo still being an option who will likely fall to the Jets. Now, Arroyo is someone who we've talked about before as a good fit with the New York Jets team. So, just looking at that, and yes, guys, if you're looking, Matt is not here right now because, frankly, I think we should all hide from Matt. Oh my God, he's back. This is terrible news. But where things stand right now, Arroyo is a player who would fit the Jets very well. So, Matt, honestly, they need a tight end. I like the idea of Arroyo. What do you think?
So Jeremy Ruckert, currently our tight end 1. You are allowed to believe in Jeremy Ruckert, but it is not his track record so far does not give me enough confidence where I am not going to be adding to that tight end room. So me and Chris here are voting for the New York Jets to select a tight end in the second round. Our first vote is probably Elijah Arroyo, but it can also be Mason Taylor, the tight end out of LSU, the son of one-time New York Jet Jason Taylor, although better well known for playing on the Miami Dolphins, but he was on the New York Jets when we were in the playoffs, the last time we were in the playoffs. So a very, very talented guy. Doesn't play on the defensive side of the ball like his dad did, but highly, highly effective route runner, and he's got great hands. If you look historically at tight ends drafted on day 2, it is the round 2 is the round with the best tight end hit rate when you're looking at success metrics. So I really think the best way to go ahead and select a tight end in the NFL is take him in that second round, because if we look at even just recent history, we got Sam Laporta out of the second round 2 years ago. 3 years ago, we saw Trey McBride out of the second round. So there are elite tight ends coming out of the second round all the time. And I really think either Elijah or Arroyo or Mason Graham could easily be that next elite tight end breaking out of the second round.
So do I, and I think when it comes to Arroyo or the other tight end who we're about to talk about, it is a perfect landing spot for a tight end because you're just so far and away the number 1 option right now. I mean, it's Jeremy Ruckert and Stone Smart. The Jets obviously do want to upgrade that, especially with the way that Laporta came out with this Lions team and was super successful, and with Aaron Glenn having been there, it would make sense for the Jets to end up trying to recreate that mold the same way they took a right tackle, like how the Lions started things with Penei Sewell. So, speaking of that final guy, very quickly, Mason Taylor is someone who was also linked to the Jets by Sports Illustrated. As it was mentioned, the Jets could use the 42nd overall pick on Mason Taylor, who's been regarded as one of the top tight ends in the class for some time now. So, again, same molds, same type of deal where what you're getting is a tight end for this Jets team that has a massive hole in that spot. I mean, especially considering everything where the New York Jets stand right now, tight end, now that your offensive line is finished, when you're looking at the offense, obviously, if you don't believe in Justin Fields, like the 2 people who you might be looking at right now, if you're looking at your screen, maybe you're driving. If you are driving, don't look at your screen. That's a bad idea. You'll crash, like that time that Matt crashed his car. That didn't happen. But Mason Taylor, tight end out of LSU, would be an interesting pickup for the Jets. Again, I want a tight end. I'd rather Arroyo. I'd be fine with Taylor.
So if we're looking at the way both these guys are trending, Elijah Arroyo came out of the gates hot, and at the end of the season, he was seen as the number 3 tight end in the class behind Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. At the Senior Bowl, he put on a show, honestly, and seemed to solidify himself as a tight end 3. But as we've crept deeper into the pre-draft process, Mason Taylor has been the tight end who's getting more buzz. So currently, Mason Taylor is at the top of a lot of analysts' boards right now, so he might not even be available for the New York Jets at 42. But just reading the tea leaves, it looks like if both those tight ends are available, the New York Jets are going to go ahead and select Mason Taylor because he's the guy who's getting more hype from draft analysts right now. He's the guy who DraftKings thinks is going to go higher than Elijah Arroyo. I think they're both very similar players, and I think with the right coaching, either one of them could have a massive breakout year. But if we don't get either one of those guys, someone I would be okay with looking at after a trade down in the second round, or maybe even with our 3rd round pick, would also be Terrence Ferguson, the tight end out of Oregon. Now, he's another guy who's a vertical threat who brings a lot of different dimensions to your offense. I really think I think the player, there's not one player, one of these three tight ends that I'm gonna stand on top of the table and say we have to pick this guy, but the New York Jets have to take one of those three guys, and because we need another tight end in our tight end room. Like you said, you brought up Smart as well. Smart was a very low risk signing. He could, of course, be the long term tight end, but again, with his track record in the NFL, I would feel a lot more comfortable going out and selecting another tight end to come into our building and to compete with our other two tight ends for the starting job.
I agree. I honestly think you're absolutely right. They have to take a tight end today. At this point, it's just, I mean, the worst tight end depth in the NFL. They have to address it, especially considering that the receiving options are not great outside of Garrett Wilson. I mean, Lazard as a wide receiver 2 is fine for right now with what this team's doing, but at the end of the day, this team does need to address their receiving issue, especially in regards to the tight end position. So I expect them to do that, and we'll be watching closely, and we have a ton more draft coverage to bring to you guys, so make sure to subscribe to Jets Digest, like this video, turn on post notifications, tell everyone that Matt crashed his car, even though that's not true. We'll catch you on the next one. Go Jets.